to Washington, a beautiful Washington. It doesn't look as good as the sunrise over Cato Lake in East Texas. He is the gentleman from East Texas. He and Don Henley of the Eagles have spent years trying to save Cato Lake in East Texas with its beautiful national wildlife and, of course, the economy of Tyler. The Roses, the Rose Festival of Tyler, Texas. He is the gentleman from the 1st District of Texas, and we're thrilled he's with us. Your president, he took 72% of your district, Louie. Your president is in the air and returning to Washington. I know he's going to return to the support of Trump supporters like you. Can he get at the margin any other people to support him in the coming months on tax reform and the other issues at hand?
I think he can on tax reform. Of course, it seems that there are 2 or 3 people in the Senate in our party that enjoy sticking it to President Trump. But I think you'll see some people get serious and come on board, because with the tax cuts, if they're significant enough, they really will help our economy. So I kept pushing President Trump each time I'd see him this year. Don't let Ryan and McConnell talk you %, because that lets us undercut China. That'll bring back manufacturing. And I know there's those who look down on manufacturing and say, no, we've evolved to a service economy. But, and I've talked about this with the president, any major nation that cannot produce what they need in a time of war will not remain a major power after the next war. So we need to get manufacturing back here. You
famously went after John Boehner and went down in flames on that. We love the debate, the discourse in the House.
Wait a minute. I didn't go down in flames.
Okay,
we needed 29. We got 24. And the goal was to get to a second ballot, get a compromise candidate. And it took 8-9 months after that vote. But we did get a different speaker.
I'll stand corrected
because of my efforts.
I'll stand corrected on the level of the flames. What I will say is Democrats just did very well across this nation, and particularly in the state of Virginia. Does Speaker Ryan and Leader McConnell, do they have the support of Democrats, and do they need support of Democrats to get anything done over the next 3, 4, 5 months on Capitol Hill?
Well, I don't know that we need their support, but we should get some of their support. That was one of the big mistakes of Obamacare, and I think if John Dingell had been left as chairman of the Committee of Jurisdiction instead of yanking him and putting Henry Waxman in, you would have had a health care bill that involved some Republicans, and we wouldn't have Republicans trying to repeal it as being such a disaster. But so we don't need them, but it would certainly be good to have them. It'll make for a better, longer-standing tax code. And I think in the end, if we do the right things, then we will pick up some Democratic votes.
What is the strength of the Tea Party and the broader ultra-conservative today? There's been so many back and forth and the sexual harassment stuff and the gentleman from Alabama and all that. What's the coalescence of evangelical Christians and the ultra-right in America right now? Is it fractured? Is it damaged? Or do they still stand strong?
I think as a group, they're still standing strong, but these are people that are not really committed to one candidate as much as they are just wanting somebody that will do what they say. And so I'm hoping that President Trump will be able to do that, and we'll give him the support to keep his campaign promises. But no, I think it's fine. But you're seeing the sexual harassment. That is no discriminator as to political parties. You find it going across the board, as you do with most improprieties. So hopefully that's going to work itself out. As a father of 3 daughters, we don't need sexual harassment no matter where it is.
What do you need to see from the Attorney General today? How does he stay out of trouble?
Well, if an attorney general is really doing his job, then he's going to have some people fussing at him no matter what. But we really did anticipate the attorney general getting in there and just enforcing the law. I mean, Obama administration kept screaming for more gun control laws, and they had fewer gun violation prosecutions than any presidency in this generation. So hopefully
Right.
we're going to see that, but we're going to find out. And I think the revelation yesterday that actually the Attorney General, after remaining mute for so long on some of these important issues, he's
Right.
let us know he is getting into these things.
Congressman, I'm going to rip up the script here with what the last number of months across this nation, including the agony of Las Vegas. I get the idea that guns work in East Texas. It's the heritage, it's the land, the rolling hills into the western Appalachians. I get that. How does the gun ethos of your first district of Texas lead to a common legislation with, say, the representative of the Bronx in New York City? How do we get on one page in this nation on gun control when we see the horrific deaths and injuries?
Yeah, well, I think we'll see guns being banned to the same extent that we start seeing ammonium hydrate and vans and trucks and machetes like we saw in Rwanda, those being banned. It's more about who's holding the instrument than it is what the instrument is. People intent on terrorizing and murdering are going to do that, but I can assure you, Tom, if someone in that church had had a gun, there would not be 25 victims of this crazed guy that came in shooting. And that's not the ethos of every person in East Texas, but 70-75% understand guns are offensive or they're defensive. And it's kind of nice to have the great equalizer when you have somebody coming in. And since we have strayed so far from what is true morality, whether it's spending future generations' money or just the way we treat people,
well,
unfortunately, defensive weapons are going to be important.
Congressman, thank you so much. Mr. Gohmert is from the
great
first
being with you,
district
Tom.
in Texas. Much going on here with the patient.